All right, good evening. My name is Nick Oliphant. I'm one of the Year 6 teachers at WES. I'm joined by Susie Bolliger, who's over here, and Sarah Rogers. So hopefully you can hear me. If not, please just put a message in the chat box because we have Susie or Miss Bolliger helping out. She can answer any questions you have as we go. So yeah, any questions, feel free to chuck them in the chat. I might just start with just an acknowledgement of country.
We at Western State School acknowledge the Yagara and Turrbal people's land and waterways, where we meet, learn, play and celebrate together. We recognize and respect the First Nations elders, past, present and emerging, for taking care of Meanjin and sharing their culture, efforts and contributions for thousands of years.
All right. So just a quick introduction. Here's the team. There are 10 of us in total, but 9 Year 6 classes. So yeah, we just have Megan Clutton up the top, Georgia Young, Sarah Rogers, myself, Nick Oliphant, Calvin Krause, Susie Bolliger, Georgia Barroso, Annie Stevenson, and Mel Elliott and Tom Lequette. And these are the emails there. Just also FYI, this is being recorded. So if there's anything that we skim over too quickly, you can go back and watch it later on. So the purpose of this meeting is just to get to know us, put a face to the name. So to meet the teaching team, we're going to go over a few processes such as communication, look at our priorities here at WES, and also just clarify some expectations around things such as uniform, attendance, etc. So, and just quickly, here's a message from the principal.
Hello everyone, I'm Kim McNamara, the very proud principal of West End State School. With over 1,340 students at West End, the most important thing to me is to build a sense of community. And to build that sense of community, when we all walk through those gates or those doors, we have to all be on the same page. So in that vein, a couple of years ago, the school council supported the leadership team to develop our school values, and those school values have become the #1 way in which we all work together to make sure that West End State School is one big united community. The other way we unite is over our strategic plan. So our strategic plan has 4 very distinct areas with strategies to support them. It goes over 4 years, and as we enter 2022, we are over halfway through our strategic plan. In the coming weeks, I will be putting an update on all 4 areas in our newsletter, so please make sure you look out for that. So the most important thing that I can ask for as the principal of West End is that we're all in this together. When we walk through the gate, when we enter our classrooms, no matter what our background, no matter what our experience, it's really important that we are all here for the one reason, which is our school vision, which is to empower our children to make sure that they can be the very best they can be. Have a wonderful 2022, and I look forward to seeing you throughout the year.
Okay, so as far as communication goes, there are a few ways which we will communicate with parents and carers in grade 6. The phone lines are always open. If you need to get in touch immediately, you can call the front office. We also send out newsletters and emails every second week, and on those opposite weeks, you will find there will be a newsletter sent from the school as well. So you'll have the WES whole school email coming through, as well as the Year 6 email coming through on the off week. We also have parent-teacher interviews. They occur in term 1 and term 3, as well as you see the information evenings report cards as well. Emails are also always a safe bet. If you ever need to get in touch with your teacher, that's probably the best option for us. So if you do have a question or any concerns, please do that via email, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Now, yeah, and as far as email return times go, we try to get back to you as soon as possible. Sometimes it might take 24 to 48 hours. But yeah, I guess we just ask that you keep whatever email you have just short, brief, to the point. It helps us just get through them a lot quicker. So yeah, here's what I was saying. So you'll see that every odd week there's a whole school newsletter or some sort of news flash, and then every even week is when the Year 6s will send out an email that sort of relates mainly just to Year 6 information. Whether it's like upcoming excursions, camps, or whatever, that will be all in the Year 6 one. So yeah, communication. If you do need to get in touch with your teacher, you're welcome to make an appointment via email or through the admin office. Again, probably email is the best option. Just get straight to the teacher, and we'll try to organise a time to visit, which would have to be outside the school hours of 8:25 a.m. to 2:45. So yeah, we're always more than happy to organise that when possible. So another useful way that you can sort of stay up to date with your child's information and details is just through the Q Parents app. This is where you can view any sort of information, report cards, assessment. Also, your invoicing and payment details can be done through here as well. I don't believe there's a whole lot of timetable and class time stuff. That's more for, I think, when they get into secondary. But yeah, you can access your child's information there. Also, if you need to change any student details as well, addresses, phone numbers, or anything that the school needs to be aware of, that's where you can do it as well. So you can visit the website just down here. Lovely. Over to Sarah.
Did you want to put? No. Hi, I'm Sarah, or Miss Rogers. So I'm successor. I am just going to give you a brief. Oh, sorry, I think my face is going to come up for you.
Well, it's not working. Oh, wait, here's mine.
Sorry, I think we're going to do.
There we go.
Hi, there we go. I'll try and make sure that my head's not in the picture. So I'm just going to briefly just talk about the school uniforms and the expectations. So currently we're in summer. We do have a unisex uniform. So you do have the blue shirts with the navy, sky blue short, long sleeve polo with the school logo on the front of it. We also have the unisex navy shorts with the sky blue stripe along the side. It is really important that they do come to school in their uniform because it does show that they are proud of, their uniform, as we are as well with our badges. White or navy socks only as well is part of the uniform. That is for unisex, so boys and girls. For winter, so when it does get to be a little bit colder, and also too, because we do have the air cons on in the rooms when it is hot, sometimes some students want to bring in a jumper. We do have navy and sky blue baseball jackets with the pockets and school logo, long fleecy navy pants, navy tights and stockings may be worn under the unisex shorts. As long as those shorts are the ones with the sky blue side stripes. Year 6s have got their own uniform because we're all in the senior. So there's senior shirt worn as an alternative to the school polo, so it doesn't have to be worn just because they're in grade 6, but that is the alternative. Otherwise, we've got team jerseys provided if they need to be worn for sports. How do I change this? There we go. I just also wanted to talk to you about how important attendance is. It's really interesting when you have a little breakdown such as this. So what we've got here on the side is just a breakdown. Sometimes your child might be 10 minutes late per day, whether that's going down, getting a drink, going to the bathroom, dawdling back from sports, or if they are arriving late to school. 10 minutes per day equals 50 minutes per week, which is nearly 1.5 weeks per year. and over 13 years of schooling, that's nearly half a year. So it's really interesting to see the breakdown of that and how important every day is. So I'll let you have a look at that, and if you do want to revisit this slide, if you are interested to see what those times can actually equate to, so 60 minutes per day is nearly 2.5 years in over a 13-year period. So just a reminder there that school starts at 8:25 a.m. and obviously your child's best learning time is at the start of the day. That's actually when we do our usually our literacy and our numeracy at the beginning of the day. Sorry, I'm new to this computer. So I just wanted to talk about the P&C as well, and what P&C actually look after. So the P&C do a lot for the school and a lot for the community. So it's really a way to give the parents a voice and also to collaborate with the school and with the principal. Which is really important, and we do have meetings that parents can attend. They do funding for school projects, like also getting technology resources, books for the school, so all of the children have got access to exactly what they need. Investing in facilities, that can be things like OSH pool covers, new fencing. There is offering key services, so the tuck shop, OSH, uniform shop as well. Growing your community, that's probably more looking at event volunteers and getting a committee together, and then planning for the future is also looking at what we're going to do in 2022 and the future planning with the P&C and with the school and what we can do with the community. In terms of sorry, Nick, I don't know how to use your computer. How do I go back?
So just use the arrows.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay, here we've got the P&C. That's just a little bit of a brief overview of what the P&C is investing in your child's future. I'm not going to read through that for you, but you can see that it has mentioned there the plans for 2022. So growing the after hours school care, and also opening a new uniform shop, looking at different technology resources, keeping up with the oval, and already, which I think is fantastic, the P&C has spent $60,000 on HEPA filters for each classroom as well. I'm going to just talk a little bit about some West End State School signature practices. So these are things that we really focus on in the classroom. I suppose the practices that we focus on in the classroom every day, and we really build that into all of our different curriculum areas. So we do what is called quick writes. There's a little bit of information on the right-hand side, a breakdown of what quick writes is. Engaging students in short, focused, creative writing, and we do that over different curriculum areas. We have guided reading as well, which is looking at challenging books, dealing with fluency and comprehension with your students, and they're all differentiated as well, so they really help each child's individual needs. We look at Bump It Up. Bump It Up is where we actually look for the next steps of improvement in the success criteria for that particular curriculum subject area. We've got complex instruction, and that also supports all learners in drawing on a variety of mathematical smartnesses. So it's utilising group tasks and things like that. We've got what we call PDM, pedagogical differentiating meetings, and that's where we actually meet and discuss the data and the needs of the student, so we can actually work accordingly and sort of tailor and differentiate to that child's need. And we also use age-appropriate pedagogies too. So age-appropriate pedagogies, as you'll see to the right, is shaping the teaching and learning of the early years by inspiring young minds through age-appropriate. So we want to make sure that we're actually teaching the children the things that they need at their particular age, and not anything too mature or immature for their age. Okay, camp. So we do have a camp coming up in term 2, which is really exciting, and that's at Mount Tambourine. That will be expressions of interest will be coming soon when we have more details about that, but it will be around week 4. And then we have a couple of excursions coming up as well. So we've got the GOMA, which is for visual arts. So there's a couple of days that we will actually be sending classes to go to the GOMA. And then we have Fort Lytton as well. Again, we'll be having those over a couple of different days and sending different classes, because we've got 9 classes. We all can't go on the same day. So those details also are up here, but they will come out to you all very shortly as well. This semester we will have interschool sport, and when we find out more details about what that's actually going to look like, and once we get more directive on that, we will give you information as well. But definitely there'll be interschool sports coming. Awesome. So I'm going to hand you over to Miss Bolliger, who is going to talk about the curriculum.
Hi there, my name's Susie, in case you haven't met me before, or Miss Bolliger, as your kids will probably refer to me. So in our newsletter coming out, I think it's later on this week because we're week 2, you'll get a quick overview of the content that we're covering this term in term 1. So have a good look through there when it comes out. Jumping to homework. Now we're trying to be a little bit greener here at West End, and so instead of printing out homework every week, in Year 6 we're displaying those resources for homework on an app. For 6SR, 6SB and 6NO, we have all used OneNote, which is an app that your children can access through their emails. So if they don't have access to their email or the internet or have reduced screen time, just get them to communicate that with us, and we'll either get them to print it out at school by sending it to them during school time, or work out a way that they can still access it. The reason, aside from the sort of sustainable focus, why we're trying to utilise some more digital technologies is also because at State High, where a lot of students go, or even other high schools, they will be expected to be quite fluent with checking emails and using different applications to access their homework. So we figured that that's one step we can use in Year 6 to try and prepare them better for high school. As you can see from the grid that I'm currently blocking out, there's 5 different sections of the must-do homework. So we've got our core subjects of English and Maths there every week. Maths and Science alternate every second week, and then you've got reading 4 times a week for 30 minutes, as well as spelling, and they will get a spelling list that's updated each week. The 2 can-do activities are optional. However, for this term, the creativity activity is closely linked to our art unit, so it would be highly encouraged for your child to have a go with those. Homework, we've talked a bit about the must-do and can-dos. We send it home on Friday so that they have the weekend if they are really busy during the week and have a lot of after-school activities. That way, you've got a couple of extra days there, but if they don't use the weekend, you've still got the rest of the week. We ask that you still support your child either through just checking in on their reading, or being involved in asking some questions or assisting them when needed, because they're still, yes, they're year 6, but sometimes still having that parental input is something that will motivate them to do their homework and build up those good habits for when they are at high school and they're getting assessments they have to complete at home. Through like projects, you know. So if they're building up those habits now, it's going to be a lot easier for them next year and onwards. Once again, we're looking at opportunities for parental engagement. Unfortunately, because of COVID restrictions, that's not something we can feasibly do just quite yet, but hopefully later on in the year, if that opportunity comes up for excursions or helping out in the classroom, we'd obviously love you to be able to volunteer, but it will just depend on what the classroom teachers' needs are at the time. When restrictions have eased, so for instance, if you're coming in for a meeting face-to-face, or you're doing something on school grounds, you'll need to sign in and out of the school at the front admin office. So that's the old building where the main admin office was. The student services desk is not where you collect your child or where you sign in and out. That's mostly just for kids. And we also now must ask for evidence of vaccination, because that's just something that's mandated. So that will be required when you're signing in, just so that you're aware. Once you've signed in, there's on this laptop, iPad, there's a set of lanyards, and you'll take one of those and wear those whilst you're on the school grounds. And that also helps for when we have lockdowns or evacuations. We just need to know who's on the grounds. So yeah. So now we're at the point of questions. If you have any questions that you've thought of throughout this presentation, feel free to just type them into the chat now, and myself, Nick, or Sarah will help to answer those. We ask that you just try and keep them specifically to what we've covered here, so they're relevant to all the other parents who are watching as well. You're welcome to send a direct email to the teacher if you have something really specific that's linked to just that class. Yeah. So if you have any questions, just type them into the chat now. Let me know if any questions pop up. Yeah, we'll give you a couple of minutes in case you're still thinking it over. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, it's just been suggested that maybe, considering it's a larger group. Oh, we have got some. There we go. Jumping the gun a bit.
So maybe do you want to answer?
Yeah. Sorry. Grade 6 don't sit NAPLAN, no, it's every second year, so 3, 5, 7 and 9. We do cover persuasive texts and imaginative texts and the content, obviously, that's leading up to what will be also assessed from 6 to 7 in the year 7 NAPLAN, but no, they don't sit NAPLAN in year 6.
There's a question from John.
Yes.
Is reading requirement for a specific text? Could you just ask them to clarify?
I'm not sure if you heard that, John, in the background, but could you just further refine your question about the guided reading text?
Yeah, it just says, is reading requirement for a specific text?
Oh, as in reading requirement for the homework? Sorry, I'm trying to work out. Yeah, we'll come back to you.
Oh, is reading required for homework?
So reading is required for homework. Let me just pop that back up. There we go. Yeah, reading is required for homework. The reason for that is because we find that students who are reading, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day, will have a greater what we call receptive vocabulary, so words that they can understand, they can comprehend, whether that's what they've read or what they've heard, and then in turn over time that will be changed over to the vocabulary they can use. So that's why we really push reading. Obviously, if you're on a very busy schedule and that's something that you don't want your child to do, you can negotiate that with your classroom teacher. But on our end, we really would promote that. And we know that in year 5, they read 5 days a week for 40 minutes. So it's actually dropped a little bit. Yeah.
Is there a specific book?
Oh, a specific book? No, there isn't. So your child can choose a text that interests them. It could be of any different type of genre. We try not to encourage them to always read comics or graphic novels, which is something that they often love reading. But if they can try reading some chapter books or maybe news articles and have a bit of a broader genre types that they're trying throughout the week, that would be fantastic. But at the end of the day, if they're reading, it would be like, that's just good, full stop.
Susie, there's one that's just in relation to, do grade 6 students do the Friday afternoon sport choices? So just refer to what I had said before.
Yeah, so there will be sport choices. That's still to be determined later on once we find out more about what sports are available and when the sport when that's starting, because at the moment that's a bit out of our hands and that's part of the Metro organisation. When that is all sorted, your child will find out what their preferences are. In the past, it's been a take-home letter and it's just first in, best dressed. And Jenny Smith, our deputy for years 5 and 6, does all of the sorting of preferences there and puts it in, or divvies it all up. So yeah.
Grade 6 you have an ICAS? Yes, they do have an ICAS.
Yes.
You do need to nominate.
Yeah, so there is ICAS for grade 6, but you need to nominate your child. I'm assuming that you just send an email to the classroom teacher. Yeah, maybe just send an email to the classroom teacher and they can find out for you exactly how to put your child forward. But yeah, you do need to nominate your child. Not everyone will just sit ICAS.
There's a question about in which case students will be tested for COVID at school. Maybe just sort of, we are doing testing, but
no. So if a student presents with symptoms, we send them to the office. They get a mask straight away. They sit outside and they're given a rat test. We don't test them at school. Like, that's once they go home, they then sort that out. So it's, yeah, and that's our procedure at the minute.
you speak the ICAS what it is.
Sorry, one moment. It's a bit tricky. They've got the questions over there, and I'm unfortunately not able to pop them up here.
Yeah, if you just sort of talk about what ICAS is, like what those things are, if you know, like it's just.
Do you want to do that one?
Sure. Yeah. Don't know, shoot some questions at me. Hi. So yeah, there was just a question about what ICAS is. Look, the school doesn't have a whole lot to do with it, but we just help administer it. They're sort of like these international assessments that students can undertake that cover areas such as maths, science. I think it's just maths and science at the moment, and basically they just sort of take the student data and they use that. It's another standardized test essentially. Yeah, so it's just an extra test which you can put your child into, and then some high schools require that, or they like to see that data. Yeah, and for like the academies, I think they like that as well. Yeah, and there's more information on the internet as well around that. Another one? Yeah, thank you for your question regarding the scooter speeds.
Jenny know.
Yeah, we'll be sure to pass that on to our admin because yeah, this is the first we're hearing of that. So yeah, we appreciate that information because yeah, obviously that's not in line with what we expect from the kids. You got it.
In regards to unvaccinated parents, at the moment we haven't got any volunteering options at the moment because we are not able to have visitors on site. I think we are largely restricted to what the education department allows us to do there. It's not really so much a choice of the teachers or the deputies or the principal there. So it's basically, at the moment, we're restricted to not having visitors on site at all until restrictions change. And then at the moment, it's still limited to vaccinated people on site. Are there any other questions before we let you guys go? I think that might be it. Yeah, so the meeting, this meeting will just be circulated between the three classes, so 6NO, 6SB and 6SR. There's also been other meetings with the classroom teachers for Year 6 and Year 5, I think, was earlier. So if you have a child in another year level, there's a scheduled time for you to have that meeting later on throughout the week or the next couple of weeks. Thank you for the feedback there. Great job. Good to have the positive feedback. Yeah, and like you've got our emails, or you should hopefully have our emails by now. So if you do have questions, we're here. We're happy to help out. Yeah, no worries. Thank you all.
Thank you.
That's it. I don't know if you can see.
Thank you so much.
That's it. All right.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, enjoy your evening. Sorry, it aligned with Valentine's Day. All right. Catch you all later. Thank you.